Hi, I'm Katie.
And I'm Joseph. We're the Murrays, and we live in Easley, South Carolina.
We have two girls. They're adopted from the Philippines. Arabella Grace is 9.5. She loves to drink hot tea and would love to read books all day long. And she loves to talk and just engage with people. And she's incredibly genuine.
I mean, Liana Jane, she loves physical affection. She's like a little fullback when she gives hugs. You see her coming and you brace for impact. They're beautiful, unique little girls and very different in their own little ways. We had had some previous experiences with some friends who had had a really challenging adoption experience, and so we were a little bit more, we weren't as romantic about the idea.
That really gave us like a sober perspective on the seriousness of committing to a child who needs rehabilitation, quite literally, the reframing of their brain chemistry. And so for 1.5 years, we waited. The Lord made it very, very clear that this was by far His plan for us. And we left that experience full of faith. January of 2016, we applied to our agency and decided that we wanted to do international adoption. And our agency gave us a list of places that we could apply for grants, and Show Hope was one of them. We had been working on our home study for a few months, but we weren't done with it yet, and we weren't expecting to be matched anytime soon. I was at work and I got a phone call from our agency, and they said, we have a profile of a little girl that has not been published. And we think that your family would be a wonderful match for her. Would you like to take a look at her? And that was the day that we saw Arabella's face. And Joseph and I, of course, were both smitten and completely overwhelmed and, just filled with emotion. Show Hope gave us $7,000 to bring home Arabella, and that was massive. It was very significant. It was the largest grant that we had received. So with Liana, we started the adoption process in January of 2020. The Lord was making it very clear that we needed to move out of our rural town to be closer to a bigger city. By that point, we were very well acquainted with Show Hope because then we had gone through training and gotten connected with the Karen Purvis Institute and TBRI and learned all about how Show Hope was included. And Joseph was in an interview in the upstate, and the hour that he was interviewing, our agency called. The lady on the phone literally said, I know we don't usually do this, but we have a little girl who has not been published yet, and we feel like your family would be a great match for her. Would you like to consider looking at her profile and her picture? And I knew, I just totally knew, and told him, and of course he felt the same way, this is just totally God. The answer is yes. An amazing thing that happened 2 times, not just once, but twice. At the time, Liana was 4 years old, and she was totally deaf, and she was in the Philippines waiting for a family. So we applied for an adoption grant again. We were able to receive a full $10,000 grant to bring Liana home. That week was just so monumental. It was just God saying, oh, by the way, here's your daughter 3 months earlier than expected. Congratulations. Here's your travel approval to go get her and the money to go get her and your husband's new job to set you up. We're just good. And then when we brought Liana home and began to experience all of the financial obligations that came with raising a deaf child, we learned about their medical grant for post-adoptions. We had already been going into pretty significant debt because her therapy is very, very expensive. It's very targeted to help her succeed with her cochlear implants.
Doing it? Sure. Okay. Yeah. Liana.
Oh yeah, she took it.
What was that?
I feel like now it's
when you can take the financial aspect even just a bit and take it off the table, that is unbelievably significant for an adoptive family and the #1 barrier for why people don't adopt. Show Hope very graciously granted us another $10,000. It completely eliminated all of that debt and gave us some to move forward with. And so altogether, we've received almost $30,000 from Show Hope.
We're in the process of investing in these little girls very intensely right now so that they can have a bright future. You know, we're working through medical issues with Arabella and Liana. I mean, we're doing 5 therapies a week. Even if they didn't have those special needs, they would have experienced trauma, neglect.
Our adoptions would not be what they are today and as successful if it weren't for TBRI. And the resources that Show Hope put out is just life-changing, especially and mainly for the children that are waiting, but for the parents too.